Why can't you give your interviewer a high five in an interview, Sean?
There's actually no good reason that you shouldn't be able to. I think if anything, you're showing emphasis in your interest in the job.
Interesting. Why emphasis? What is it
Emphasis,
about the high five?
because the high five is emphatic by nature.
Oh, interesting. It's an emphatic symbol. All right. Is it
Far more emphatic than a passive handshake. Now, I give a firm one regardless.
Oh, okay. Firm. Okay, but firmness and it makes the passive more active.
If you give someone an emphatic high five.
Okay, interesting. So can you have an active and a passive high five? What about a low five? Is that a passive high five?
I don't think passive is even, if you're giving someone a greeting, I don't think passive comes into play.
Okay, so it's all active in a greeting.
It should be emphatic.
Okay, but you did identify an energetic difference between a high five and a handshake as now activity versus passivity.
True.
So there is a distinguishment.
But also you brought it up as a job interview situation.
Okay, so I set the context.
So emphasis is actually involved.
Yeah, so now we're thinking about the details. What do you think, Andrew? Is it okay to give somebody a high five in an interview? And under what circumstances is it okay to give somebody a high five in an interview?
It's not that it is okay, it just should be.
I mean, it really depends on if you're the right guy for the job, right?
Okay. So how does that change things?
Confidence.
You have that confidence, that level of connection to where you feel comfortable exerting that type of display.
So at what point in the interview should you and when do you know when you feel comfortable? When is it that point where you're like, okay, this is high five status with this dude?
If you have the job and you're excited about it, and it's something you've been waiting for, and you go in there and you give them everything that they want, and they hire you on the spot, then you're free to give the high five.
Okay, so after they're like, dude, you are so awesome, you got the job right now. Then you're like, all right, let's high five it out. Cheers it out. Cheers to that one. That's what it's like. A high five is more... Okay, so what does that mean a high five means? Once you're friends with this dude, what does that mean? Like,
that's a celebration of the connection between the two.
Okay, and then how is that different from a handshake?
From a handshake?
Yeah.
I feel like a handshake is more like an agreement.
Formal.
You know, it's more formal agreement, whereas
Interesting.
a high five is more like a social, display of connection.
Okay.
I mean, whether you're connecting on a feeling or a thought or
it levels you with
idea.
somebody on a personal space.
It's a leveling procedure.
It is, man.
It's
For sure.
Interesting.
It's probably a more comfortable level of connecting with somebody in terms of touch, just because it's less
Than like a hug or something, for example?
It is a more social thing than a formal thing. Now, handshakes, of course, universally perceived as a formal introduction.
Okay.
It's more climactic. You're not stuck thinking about how you're grasping the person's hand, how long you're gonna hold it and shake it.
Okay, it's snappy.
And the awkward exchange
Also,
of
if you
strength.
go,
there's no display of strength.
And somebody dead fishes you.
Just synchronicity. There is a display of something, whether or not you can get the snap of the high five.
It's all about synchronicity.
Whether you're in tune with that person. Are we on the same wavelength?
You are judging based on the connection.
There is a judgment
but
happening.
There's no grip. There's no constant
It's
firm
not about a
connection.
strength connection. It's
Exactly.
not about a power. It's about
It's
how closely aligned are we? How are we on the same page or something?
It's about hitting that exact moment together instead of just forming like a bond, which is hard to do when you first meet somebody, whether it's an interview or just
to form that bond?
Yeah.
To begin with. Even forming that,
Right
it's
off the
symbolic. So the handshake is almost symbolic of what we're about to engage in.
Nick,
We're
you
about
wanna
to
go
try
the
to...
store?
What store?
Because your buddies are about to be in town.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, yeah, I can go to the store.
High fives.
High fives all around. High fives. High fives. Let's level it out. Let's level it out.
Store.